Yo, how's it going, guys? So this is going to be a very short stream. So a few things. The reason I'm doing this late is because while I do have a 9 to 5, as you can see, I'm a very small YouTube channel. I'm not making any money on this yet. In the future, we will. Not right now. Which means I still have to pay my bills, which means I have to work like a regular person. I have to go to my job at 9 to 5. I'm very tired right now, but I always stream during the weekends, so I'm not going to be on for too long because I have to wake up early in the morning to go to work. So I'm probably going to stop this at 12 p.m. EST, which is my time. So I'm probably not going to have any viewers on this stream. That is kind of normal when you're starting off small. But usually when I stream at more like peak hours, I get like one viewer. Shout out to Anime if you're watching this from the future. How's it going? But we are picking off from where we stopped, and that is when Shihiro decided to spill the beans to Samura's daughter. So we're going to be jumping into chapter 66. Let's get it, see how that goes. I still don't know if this is a good idea, but honestly, Samura is acting on his own right now, so I don't blame Shihiro for doing the same. So let's see what happens. Chapter 66. All right, so this is kind of like a flashback. All right, so I guess this is from the daughter's POV, and she's basically thinking to herself that it's not like she's not been happy with the way things have been, but she's always felt like something is missing, right? This kind of vague sense of loneliness. That's her memories kind of like fighting back to remember who she was, who her dad is, right? And now she's basically trying to find out who Samura is to her. And that is the whole point of Shihiro's reveal. So she's trying to figure out who is this person to me, this Seishi Samura. She still doesn't know that's her father, but she knows there's something special about this. And Shihiro, in a very Shihiro manner, just blurts it out. He's your father. No cushion whatsoever, bro. Just take it hard. Straight up. No chaser. He's your father. And the little leader of the ninja group, the very small kid looking dude that's actually not a kid, presents a snack. I guess that's supposed to be the chaser to kind of like wash it down. All right. Now she's in disbelief at this news. There's a flashback while she's pondering on what she's just learned of the leader of the ninja group saying we manipulated your memory. So now she's thinking, I've never met my father. But again, because she remembered that they did mention they manipulated the memory, so she kind of understands how this could possibly be true and why she doesn't remember. Okay, so looks like the snack was a good call. She's munching on that. Hey, talk about comfort food. I don't blame her. I would do the same. That's a big thing. And Chihiro just said he's your father and kind of checked out, logged out of the conversation. It's the leader of the shinobi group that I can't remember because I suck with names. That's basically trying to keep this going. It's like, I know it's confusing, but, let her know that she lived with her dad when she was younger and they made her forget. Now, she's being told her actual name. Okay, what's her current... Okay, your current official name and birth record of... Okay, never mind. So let her know that basically our entire life has just been a fake, and her name is Iori Samura. Interesting. Cool name, Iori. Sounds like... Reminds me of EIE, but... Okay, they explain to her why they sealed her memory, and it's for her safety. And she's confused, like, how is it for my safety? It's kind of like a dumb question considering the guys that just attacked your school. Maybe she hasn't made the connection yet. Because they were not necessarily... Nah, she should have known. Anyways, I guess she doesn't know why. She understands they're trying to attack her. She's maybe trying to ask why. We keep reading the C. Alright, so they show her the name and she goes, I've seen that name before. You've probably heard of him. He was in your textbook at school. So Shihiro was basically letting her know that, your dad's a big deal. He's so big that you've probably even studied about him in your textbook. So like, do you know about the war? So basically trying to let her know about who her dad was, which is kind of the reason why her father didn't want her to remember. Besides safety, he's not necessarily proud of his involvement in the war. Now, war is a terrible thing. It's just, I don't quite understand why he's this way about the war and going to such lengths to hide the fact that a war happened. That for me is a bit still in the gray area. And like I said, generic war is bad. We get that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, why are you going to such lengths to hide the fact that you did these things? You know what I mean? Like, he's so embarrassed about it, but whatever. So to give her a brief history lesson, or maybe she already knows. So they're asking her if she knows about the war. Okay, let's see. Oops, my bad. Okay, so that war happened 22 years ago, and it happened in an island, Shokoku. A small island called Shokoku appeared in the Southeast Seas. First of all, I just want to take in this panel right here. The illustration is amazing. The landscape. This has got to be something from a reference. There's no way. I mean, let me not say there's no way, because these mangakas are on a different level. They probably could conjure something up from imagination, but in the landscape, because I know it's a vague description. Like, basically what you're saying is a bit vague. It's not very clear. So I'm going to do my best to try and explain whatever is not being captured in what I'm showing you on screen. But in this illustration, there is an island that's kind of far away and not very visible. And the way the mangaka has portrayed that island is just marvelous. Like, this is next level artistry. I just had to take the panel in. Anyways, they continue to educate her about her father and the role he played in the war. So along with it, Dantasaki, the raw material of the enchanted blade, that material originated there. So we finally getting some sort of history as to where the Dantasaki originated, like the stuff used for those swords. The inhabitants of Shokoku were naturally immune to the Dantasaki. Interesting. Does that mean the guy with that sword, the guy that's kind of like always vague and mysterious, is he from that island? And are people from that island very proficient with that weapon? Let's keep going. They could handle the unprocessed stone without their bodies exploding. Then the invasion began. Oh my god, okay. Alright, this is we're approaching murky waters now. 1 year and 5 months later, Kunishige Rokuhira forged the enchanted blades. It was the master swordsman and 5 wielders of the enchanted blades who wiped out the enemy. Who was the enemy? Did they just kill people in the island indiscriminately? Okay. A year and 5 months after the invasion, and then the daughter interjects, one of those heroes was my father. Okay, so she's smart, she's catching on. And the leader of the ninja group says, yes, of the 5, Mr. Samura possessed the fastest sword techniques. That is evident from the battle so far. He's very quick on the draw. If someone wanted to leverage his lightning fast sword for their purposes, then as his daughter, you'd obviously make the ideal hostage. Okay, so now they've actually painted a picture as to why her memory was erased and why her existence had to be so discreet. Makes sense? So you'd obviously make the ideal hostage. That's why they wiped her memories. But if nobody knew you were Samura's daughter, that risk could be eliminated. To that end, Mr. Samura asked us to seal your memories. Okay, now she's beginning to get it, but she's a bit saddened by this. She says she can't even remember his face. And I think at some point, because some of her old memories started to seep in, she was able to kind of draw a rough sketch because you could see it somewhat, but not grasp the whole image. And obviously, the memories were fragile enough for the name to even seep through it. So she knows the name and a vague idea of his face. That you can see there's a rough sketch on screen of her trying to draw the dad in the past, not knowing it was a dad, obviously. So she's saddened by this. My dad, okay. Oh, sorry, wrong. That was wrong. That was a flashback of her drawing the dad. Look, I draw you dad. My bad, I misunderstood. My dad, you keep calling him Mr. Samurai like you know him. What's he doing? Where is he now? Well, obviously they do know him. How would they know that much history about him if they don't know him? Samurai's daughter is a bit slow. First of all, her line of questions kind of, you know what, it's fine. She's a young girl. She is overwhelmed. Memory, I'll cut her some slack. I don't know how I would react in a similar situation. You keep calling Mr. Samurai like you know him. What's he doing? Where is he now? And then he goes, he's forgotten you too. The Masumi were appointed to protect you if the need arose. And now she feels like she was abandoned. Again, like I said, she's a bit slow. Even after everything that's been communicated to her, she's seeing it as her dad abandoned her. No, he was trying to keep you safe. But again, she's young. I can understand why she might feel that way. All this time, I wanted to remember, she thinks to herself. If he's so strong, why couldn't I stay with him? He could have protected me. That is a fair point. Because Samura so far has been shown to be like the strongest in the series. So technically, who could step to him, especially if he had the sword? But then there's also the issue of not wanting her to know about his past. I think that's the big issue here, besides the whole safety. I think the real thing is Samura isn't proud of what they did during the war, and he wants to kind of hide the daughter away from that, doesn't want the daughter to face the consequences of that. That's my guess, because she's asking a very good question. Why couldn't I stay with him? He could have protected me. Okay. Oh, there's a little illustration here about the lock kind of cracking. I'm guessing that's a lock to her memories, maybe. It's like that. Oh, the lock is cracking. She's starting to remember because they're giving a little bit of pieces. Oh, now she can fully visualize her father. And the father says, Iori. And just when she's about to say father, the panel ends. What happens? Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. That's what it is. That's what her father was protecting her from. So you can see in the house, it says, die, murderer, drop dead, sinner, killer, get lost. Now, just to be clear, I cannot read Japanese. There's like a small little inscription there in English that I'm reading, but essentially the thing that's painted on the walls is die, murderer, drop dead, sinner, killer, get lost, which would explain why the father wanted to send her away, because he didn't want her to have to live with this. I get it. She remembers, and there's a crow. Itachi, is that you? Well, there's a crow in the top panel. No dialogue boxes or anything. The lock is not completely cracked, but it is cracking, and there's a look of surprise on her face. It's like a sudden realization. It's slowly flooding in all the memories that were locked. The reason he gave you up wasn't just because of the danger. There we go, and that's what I said a couple of chapters, like panels ago. Yes, he was known as a hero, but not everyone felt the same, and that would never go away. And this is very real, you know. At the end of the day, regardless of your cause, in a war, when you take lives, there's no winners, losers, heroes, or villains, right? I mean, scratch that. I'm not speaking in absolutes. I'm just saying, for the most part, both sides loses, right? So even if you come back a hero, the fact still remains is you killed people. And no matter how hard he fought to save people, and then there's a flashback of Iori basically saying, they said you were a killer. So basically, Iori's vision or idea of her father was actually starting to get distorted because of public opinion. And that would explain why the dad wanted to keep her away from it. Maybe Iori, rather her father, couldn't bear to see his daughter view him in that light. So that would make sense. So your life as Seishi Samura's daughter would have been a constant struggle. Okay, now it's coming back to her, and there's a crow again, ominous, and those memories won't necessarily be happy ones. Okay, and the memory's coming, she's grabbing her head. Shiro looks concerned, approaches her, so does the little kid leader. I know he's not a kid, but he really looks like one. So they're approaching her. So it's almost like she had a big headache. It's like the memories are flooding in at a pace that was a bit concerning. So she went to bed. Or they put her to bed, rather. Okay. It's understandable. Moments ago, she was a normal high school girl. She's confused. It is a lot to take in. I agree. And to be honest, between the two of them, Chihiro and the kid, I would say kid who's not really a kid, probably older than Shiro if I remember correctly, handled it with a little bit more sensitivity. Shihiro just came out and said, "That's your father. He's your father. Simple as that." But hey, appreciate somebody that's a straight shooter, but there's a time and place to be a straight shooter, especially when you're dealing with a high school girl. About her mother, we don't need to tell her. I want her to still have the option of going home. And then Shiro is coming to terms that the whole situation is a painful one, like her truth is a painful one. Of course, the desire to live with the truth is real, but the whitewashed ordinary life she's been living is just as sacred. Hey, there's a reason why they say ignorance is bliss, right? Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes the truth isn't what you want to hear, you can't handle the truth. I don't know if anybody watching in the future, or oh, actually somebody's watching right now. Hi, say hi in the comment section if you're hanging around, but anyone watching knows the reference I'm referring to. Oops. It's up to her. There's still time for her to process it. Our job is to stand by her. So right now they're just because it feels like on one hand, they're trying to protect her so she doesn't become a chip that can be used to manipulate her father, right? But on the other hand, I also feel like the Kamunabi are trying to get some sort of ace to also use against Summer. So at this point, I don't really think they're doing this for Summer's interest. Shihiro maybe, but the Kamunabi, I don't know. So we're pulling an all-nighter, okay? Oh, they're doing ninja seals. This is pretty cool. They're using ninja scrolls, kind of like in Naruto. This time we'll completely seal her memory of Mr. Samura. We have to write out everything about Iori. Okay, so why go through the trouble of telling her the truth if you were just intending to seal her memories in the first place? That's a bit strange. My guess is plot-wise it wouldn't make sense, so I don't really think they will seal it. I know, we just gotta keep watching. Reading. I said watching. In my head, it's like a movie. Why the rooftop? Because sorcery is prohibited inside. Inside where? Okay, the inside of the hotel is packed with members of the underworld. It's one of the hotel's regulations to keep them from riling each other up. Ah, I see. This kind of gives me that, what you call it? What do you call it? John Wick. The John Wick universe? Where they have that hotel and then there's certain rules. You can't shoot, you can't kill inside or something along those lines so that everyone can come in there. It's like a little oasis, like a little resort, like a retreat for the hitman or whatever. You can run in there and you're safe. If we create a stir, the thugs in the hotel will pounce, and that's not all. The hotel staff are disciples of Yujiro Sengoku, the general manager. Ooh, Sengoku is a sick name. Sengoku. Shout out to Sengoku from One Piece. They are masters of the Raigen one sword style. We don't want to get on their bad side. Interesting. Lobby first floor. First of all, that's an amazing mustache. That front desk is crazy. Hold up. Somebody is using sorcery. And of course it's a Hishaku member. And of course it's the psychotic one. The one that wants... Oh no, it's not the psychotic one. She teleported the psychotic one there. The one that wanted to be friends with Shihiro. Thank you, Toto. That surveillance was intense. Samura will pick up the trail quickly. We'll have to be on our toes. Absolutely no using the enchanted blade. And he says, I won't. See? A hairpin. Is that all you brought? I guess the colors kinda... So Samura's daughter's in this building. Oh, so they're in the same hotel as the daughter. Interesting. Don't know. There are a few places she could be hiding. Kagura is making the rounds too. We'll just have to search. Pardon me, sorcery is strictly prohibited in the hotel. Yeah, because they just did sorcery. I saw that. Oh, Hishaku don't play. Did he just decapitate the guard? That is crazy. Pardon me, sorcery is strictly prohibited in the hotel, and he just decapitated the guard like that. If I draw Kumiuri, Samura will slay me instantly. I know because I saw him with my own eyes. Oh, okay. Looks like the Hishaku are gonna like... Interesting. I'll just have to rely on my regular sword skills. You have your T, Toto. Toto just seems unbothered. It's like, if you want to fight, you're on your own. Fight. I am not getting involved in this. This is all on you. The Bloodshed Hotel will be a good stepping stone. Interesting. So he wants to kill everybody in this hotel, it looks like. What's the caption saying here? He low-key bad. Mr. Mustache better be able to throw down. Yeah, I mean, you can have a mustache like that and be a weakling. Honestly, I feel like for you to have facial hair that's that intense, you need to be able to back it up. I'm just saying. Hey, Miss Toto. So, Shihiro's really alive for real? Yeah, I saw him. He's protecting Samura's daughter. I see. So now he's really excited because, for him, that's his friend. I don't understand how he came up with that in his head, considering, Shiro hates the Hishaku and hates their gods, but friends, I guess. I see. Are you crying? Not him crying because Shihiro's alive. Now I'm pumped. I'll plow through the questioning nice and quick. You sure you don't want help? I'm fine. I'll take them all. Alright, he's talking a big game. If he can take them all, that means these hotel guys are not really as strong as I thought. Hey, where do you think you are? Oh, damn. People are about to... Ooh, okay. Kyoto Bloodshed Hotel. All the staff here are sword fighters, but there's a whole range of skill levels. The challenge will be that one big shot swordsman who has over 50 disciples. That's total just thinking about what a huge challenge this might be. And maybe this little Hishaku minion here is biting a little bit more than he can chew. Yojiro Sengoku, first of all, he has a strong ass name, he is the general manager, and he has a strong ass mustache. I don't know. And also the way they introduced the Reagan one sword style, I don't know. But we'll see. One thing Kagurabachi knows how to do is hype up characters before they get slayed. It's kind of like the theme so far. You bear the Hishaku emblem on your hand. I hear you're quite skilled, and yet you oppose me alone? Oh, he feels insulted. Of course, the art of the sword that has been passed down with this hotel. I am its history. See, the more he talks big like that, based on my experience reading Kagurabachi so far, he's about to get put in a pack. The Reagan one sword style, alright, bet. So he clashes, okay, blocks it with a sword. Heavy, he says. So, well, yeah, the guy's kind of like twice your size. I would expect his strikes to be heavy. Hirohiko's a top tier sorcerer, but when it comes to sword technique, he's never really properly trained. And in his current state without access to sorcery against an opponent like this, but I'm scared, so I'll stay still. I love Miss Toto. Miss Toto is like, listen, I didn't ask you to pick this fight. And if you are going to jump in there and start this fight, you better be ready to finish it, because you see me, I'm scared. I'm staying out of this. I'm minding the business that pays me. Whoever sent you to do that, you should go call them. And since I didn't send you to go into this nonsense, it is not my business. Well, Hirohiko, right, that's his name. Hirohiko seems to be holding his own against the Reagan one star, whatever they call that sword. If sword play makes this much of a difference, we'll begin with the basics. So he's having a flashback. In basic forms, crucial, they're the crystallization of star. Very soon we'll stop into the same ring, even with an enchanted blade. If my sword fighting is this bad, I won't be in the same. Okay, so he's thinking about fighting Chihiro, right? So he's basically trying to hone his sword fighting skills by literally going through a baptism of fire, which, I don't know, could be beneficial, but at the same time, I don't think it's optimal or smart. But that is kind of his idea and his strategy. That's why he's challenging his people in the hotel. Okay, prepare to be swallowed alive. And Mustache Man with an eye patch charges forward with his sword. Prepare to be swallowed alive by 150 years of history, he screams. Hiroko evades 150 years of history with no stress at all. We'll face off as equals, he's thinking to himself, thinking about the conversation he had with Chihiro while fighting this Mustache Man. And it looks like... okay. I don't understand this technique. Okay, so he was about to strike when the sword was coming at his head. But then he uses one hand to flip his right hand, right, to flip the sword, dodge the oncoming attack, and then catches it again with his left hand. Talk about dexterity. So he evades the attack mid swing by flipping the sword and switching to the other hand. Okay, that was pretty cool. And Hirohiko is now noticing that Toto's trying not really about to help, and he's like, "Really, you're just gonna sit there and not help?" So I know actually. Hey guys, I'd rather you all come at me at once. Okay, relax. Oh, I missed that. So it turns out that when he did that flip and evaded the attack from Sengoku, the guy with the amazing mustache, he actually cut off Sengoku's arm. Now, you're barely managing to dodge. How could you possibly? And then they saw the hand fall and they're like, oh, okay. Sengoku looking like, damn, I really messed up on that one. He really got me, but I gotta act tough. I can't act like I'm in pain. So he's thinking to himself just now, okay? This is, by the way, like I said, when they hype people up in Kagurabachi, it only means one thing. They're about to get packed up. Simple as that, okay? So just now, he took a totally unorthodox path. I couldn't even read where the blade came from. Yeah, I saw that. The way he flipped it from his right hand to his left was pretty cool. And he seems to be very agile. I really like how whimsical he is when he fights, but I don't know. He seemed very weak against Shiro. Oh no, never mind. Shiro had an enchanted blade, so that definitely is a plus 100 stats boost. Okay, you're also pig-headed. Why do I have to be someone's disciple? Hirohiko says, I'm a student of freedom. Okay, so he's unorthodox. Because he's unorthodox, that makes him unpredictable, and that makes him dangerous. Okay, so I guess your 150 years of history amounts to you losing one arm. Interesting. Says there won't be a next time. Flashback to Shihiro and Samura's daughter Iori on the bed. Shihiro's actually checking up on her, letting her asking to see how she's doing. She wakes up a bit confused, asking what time it is, and Chihiro tells her it's just dawn's just breaking. It's like morning. Oh, it's too bad it's dark. Oh yeah, there's that thing in the sky that makes everything dark. Ow. Where are the Masumi on the roof working on the final stages of preparing the seal? Yeah, the Masumi, that's what they're called. That's what the group is called. Still haven't committed their name to memory just yet. I'm here to guard you, Shihiro says. And she was wondering if Shihiro was there the entire night while she was sleeping. And if that's the case, doesn't Shihiro himself sleep? To be honest, the only time I've seen Shihiro sleep is when he's been knocked out cold in the hospital. Every other time he's conscious. I rarely see this guy sleeping. Only this part requires all three of them. We traded off during the night. Okay, so it looks like they take turns. So Shihiro isn't a night owl. It's just they took turns. They taught me battle techniques and I practiced sword techniques too. And she asks again, what about sleep? You seem totally used to this stuff, Shihiro. We are the same age, right? That's true. Shihiro's pretty young, yeah. What about school? He replies, I've never gone. That is true. He's never gone. So all this time you've been enmeshed in these bloodbaths? For students like us, stealing each other's desserts at lunchtime, competing for test scores, playing drawing games, those were our fierce battles, she says. And then she replies, sounds peaceful. And then she says, they're probably worrying about me now. I miss them. And again, this is probably why they need to seal your memory. I don't know why they had to tell you the truth. I feel like she's not going to get the chance to seal her memories again, but let's see. Shiro just replies with a cold face in silence when she says, I miss them. She says that before she fell asleep, she remembered something. And it was a flashback to the harsh words that were painted in blood or some, I don't know if that's blood, but painted over their house. You know, it's black and white, hard to tell if it's blood. Might be blood, who knows. And then she goes, if I go back to my original self, I will not be able to live the life that I have now, and I won't be able to go to school again. And she replies, yes, it's one or the other. My last name is Rokuhira, Shiro says. And then Iori repeats, Rokuhira? Says, my father's Kunishige Rokuhira. He and your father, Seishi Samura, were great friends. We are children of the war heroes. Our circumstances are kind of similar. So I had this idea that it's better to live with the truth, even if it hurts. But that was arrogant of me. So Shira is basically trying to, I guess, talk to her and convince her that sometimes the truth is too heavy a burden to bear, and it might just be better to live in blissful ignorance like she's been doing this entire time. Because of that blissful ignorance, she's had the opportunity to go to school and have a relatively peaceful life. As Ken would tell from the encounter earlier, Shiro seemed a little bit jealous or somewhat envious of the fact that she's got to have that. Because as much as he's consumed by what has happened to his dad and his pursuit of vengeance or justice, he still wishes none of that happened. He wishes dad was there, still alive, and that he never had to go through all of this, I feel. So you have, and as soon as it says you have, and then something happens, he was gonna keep talking. It says, I'll go look. So those are rockers. As soon as he stepped out, someone with a blade literally attacked through the door. Okay, that is wild. Okay, you knock on my door, try to open the door, and you greet me with a blade. That's crazy. Shiro easily evades and puts the guy on his back. Who are you and what do you want? And he simply replies, money. Someone called my room. They promised me a pile of money. Interesting. Oh, damn. Now they're coming in. Hold up. They're headed to this room. Clearly, we're being targeted. What's going on? And he says, Shiro says stays there and is about to lock the door. She looks visibly terrified, which makes sense. But she looks through the camera like the pinhole because, she's nosy. And she's about to see head roll and blood, like serious bloodbath, because she's being curious. But it's kind of crazy. She gets to see someone her age do things that she can't even fathom, right? Let's see. Oh my god, this panel is amazing. So because she's looking through the pinhole camera, I don't know what you call it, the little little lens that they put indoors. Is it a pinhole camera? I don't know, that little lens. So the author is using a fisheye perspective. If you don't know what a fisheye perspective is, it's essentially what it would look like when you look through a lens like that at in a door, right? From a small, little lens. It's kind of everything gets warped, like in a spherical manner. And this panel right here is just pure artistry. Like sometimes ignoring the storyline, ignoring how amazing the story has been so far, the action and all those other stuff, just the pure illustration is just a beautiful sight. Like the perspective on this, the it is gory, by the way. I can only imagine what Iori is going through at this moment looking at this. Blood splatter everywhere, and Shihiro just casually, with that iconic cold look in his eyes that is kind of known for at this point, just cutting through them like hot knife through butter. Like it's not even fair. But again, sick perspective here. Too bad. I wish I could show exactly what's going on, but for copyright reasons I cannot. Anyways, the bloodbath continues, and this is a very nice touch here for the illustration. So the lens which she's looking at gets so bloody that she could no longer see through it, because that's how much Shihiro was cutting them down. And then she eventually, I guess, once everything quieted down, no more ruckus, no more people screaming from their limbs getting separated from their body, she assumed the fight was over and it was safe to open the door, and she did. She says it's okay now. She opens the door, looks out in the hallway, and Shiro is just standing there in all black with a sword sheath, and it's just bodies on the floor. Bodies, bodies, bodies. They're all dead. Shout out to Frankly Saint. I don't know if you've seen that. Bodies, bodies, bodies. They're all dead. But yeah, everyone is dead. And now she gets to see what the life Shihiro has been leading has been. Because Shihiro is about to tell her what living with the truth has done to him and the kind of life he's had to live. Like, because of he chose to live with the truth, thinking that he could handle the truth. And I mean, to be fair, he has been handling it. It's just it's a lot. And because he chose that path, that's why he's able to do what he's just done. And regardless of sides, at the end of the day, he just murdered all these people. He's a murderer, right? He's killed all these people. He is a killer. So she turns around, looks how bloody everything is, looking at him standing there, surrounded by corpses. And now she's terrified. But she also asks, aren't you scared? And then Shihiro just thinks to himself, shoot, I'm still not there. Essentially, basically saying he's not as strong as Samura, I'm guessing, because of the fight that just happened. Maybe he felt like he was a little bit sloppy than needed, and he's kind of doing like a self-assessment to know that he actually isn't on the level of Samurai just yet. These guys weren't elite fighters. There's probably more on the way. Let's get to the roof. So that was his reply to, aren't you scared? That Iori asked. He just simply says, let's get to the roof. And then she says, that's not what I mean. I meant of killing people. He simply replies, no, I am not scared. You guys have lived dramatically different lives, girl. You've been shielded from the truth your entire life. You've gone to school. Your fierce battles is just simple food fights in the cafeteria. He's had to fight for his life. He's had to see his dad die in front of him, erased permanently. Your dad's only been erased from your memory. You guys are not the same. He's built different. And then she basically concurs with me and says, that's why I'm not like you. This is the only life I have now. But you, and then now she's thinking back to the whole thing about the blood on the wall and the murder, all those things that have been said. Have a life as Samura's daughter, a peaceful alternative existence. She's not weighing everything. Both of those are your truths. There's no right answer, nothing you should do. It's about what you want. Basically, he's making it painfully clear that you already know the life you currently lead. You already know how peaceful it is. You have your friends, you have everything. It's like red pill, blue pill metrics all over again. And it's like, look, you already know what you have right now, but you don't know what life will be when you live with this truth. But I'm telling you right now, this is what it's like living in my truth. So watch me carefully and make that decision for yourself. And she goes, I want to go back to school. And that is valid, my homegirl. That is valid. I don't have a choice. All I have is. And while she's pondering upon this, Mustache Man, I don't know, it looks like he's dead. One eye, the eye patch is gone, and that eye is hollow. I think that's just a head. Oh, of course. I said it. The minute they started talking all big, looking all cool, talking about 150 years of history, I said it. I called it. I told you, this guy will die. Because every time they hype people up in Kagurabachi, that is what happens. They die without fail. They always die. The only time you get hyped up and you don't die is when you're actually fighting. If they hype you up before the fight, you will die. Anyways, Hirohiko comes in, like the elevator opens, Hirohiko comes in face to face with Shihiro. He's holding the head of the Sengoku guy, the general manager of the hotel. And it's kind of like a cool kind of what do you call it? Like a cool panel there, them just staring at each other. Yo, Shihiro, I'm ready for you. Interesting. Shihiro simply replies, don't worry, I promise to get you back. Interesting. Okay. Look, so I usually I like reading the comment section at the end of each manga and on each of the chapters, and literally they did highlight what I said. Mangaka knew he was cooking with the peephole panel. It's so good. I agree. I had to acknowledge it. It was just beautiful. This mangaka is cold. What an artist. Okay, so he's recalling someone called my room. They promised me a pile of money. And then Shiro kind of put one and two together. So it was you. So yeah, I asked this dude's brain what room you were in. Oh, so he probably used sorcery. And then Hiriko simply says, it's great that you're here. You see, it's moments like this, if this was an anime, they'll probably play like a Lacrimosa, like the classical music. Lacrimosa. Is it by Amadeus Mozart? Like something like ta-da, ta-da, Because it's like an intense moment, you know. Uh, I could probably like do sound design for things like that, but whatever. The clientele here are extremists of one sort or another. They are all headed to this floor now, and with the manager gone, there's nothing to hold them back. And you, we haven't been introduced. Thank you for being born. Samura's weakness. Hiriko is such a psychopath. And then they spring into fighting, and unfortunately, they desecrate the general manager's head even further, cutting it in half, splattering blood to Shihiro's eye, which I assume was Hirohiko's attempt to blind Shihiro. And then it looks as if Hirohiko swings at Iori, and Shihiro blocks it. Why would he swing at Iori? It might have just been a strategy to kind of catch Shihiro off guard, because they need her as a bargaining chip. If you kill her, then you kill Samura's weakness. Anyways, I don't know why he swung at a girl. And she looks scared, she's crying, she really isn't about that life. Hiriko simply says, "You've had it rough, Shihiro, having to clean up after Samura's mess. Samura's currently in motion to kill the contracted sword bearers. When I get my hands on his daughter, that should get his attention. He's so racked with guilt that he doesn't even realize what's happening here." "What tomorrow?" Hiriko says. Shiro replies, "You won't lay a hand on her." And she just keeps thinking, "I want to go back to school." Like, she's just regretting learning about the truth. She's wishing this day never happened. This is probably the worst day of her life that she's probably not going to remember if the seal is complete. This girl is no longer a part of this. Interesting. This girl is no longer a part. Oh my god, this mangaka is just so good. So they get in the elevator, right? And then he slices something, I'm assuming, that sends the elevator down, right? And then the panel, the way it's shot, it's like the elevator is falling down, right? But then the mangaka illustrates the speed of the drop by making the lines a bit hazy when drawing her. So it kind of drew it a little bit hazy and just descends like that. Like, that illustration is just beautiful. I wish you guys could see it. But if you look closer, you'll be able to see how he kind of made it a bit hazy to illustrate that movement. Beautiful. And she just screams, "Hey." And then she's thinking about what Shihiro said. "Don't worry, I promise to get you back." And she just simply thinks to herself, "You're leaving me here?" And it's like, okay, they're all headed to this floor now. Okay, she's scared. Now everybody's headed to the floor. I thought you said don't worry. And she's terrified because she's seen everybody coming in. She's freaking out. A high school girl plunged into this world and learning that her dad was this guy that's messed up with all of this stuff, and that all these people are here for her. And after seeing that bloodbath Shiro just created a few seconds ago, I can understand her fear just seeing grown men just arriving through the elevator into her floor, all matching towards her. But of course, we have the little kid, the leader of the Masumi, also pulling up from the elevator. "Yo, come on in." Okay, let's go. So, hold up. Huh? Hold up. Wait, did he kill all of them already? That's crazy. Going up? Let's go. Damn. Oh, going up. So the elevator said going up. So he killed every single one of them there and got her into the elevator, and they just went up. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see what happened. Okay, so the leader of the Masumi, the kid looking guy, who is not really a kid, steps in. I can't remember his name. He steps in, puts the girl in the elevator, steps out, wipes the whole floor clean, gets back in the elevator, and simply says, "Let's go." That will be epic when it gets animated. That would be amazing. That was so cool. That was next level aura right there. He said you needed 3 people on the roof. Oh, we finished. You can go back to being a regular high school girl soon. Interesting. She's a bit... She in this panel, yeah, she looks a bit confused, like mixed feelings. Can I really go back? The seal, I don't really understand how it all works. And then she's worried that they know what school she goes to and they saw her face. How can she just go back to school like nothing's happened? The events of the past 2 days will be hazy. No one will even remember what happened. Though we can't bring back the dead. Those bad guys came because I was trying to break the seal. It's my fault, our teacher was. And the leader of the Masumi simply interjects and says, no, absolutely not. The Hishaku are to blame for this. And if anyone slipped up, it was us, the Masumi, trying to alleviate her guilt and take responsibility. He continues by saying, we are ninja. We never learned about human emotions. When we created that seal 3 years ago, we didn't understand the parent-child bond, so our seal was insufficient. But after talking with you, we have a better sense now. This time the seal will reach to the very root of your consciousness. There's no risk of it breaking again. You can go back. You can go right back to your regular life at school. The only thing we still need for the seal is the key. The key? She asks. The hotel is enclosed in an enormous barrier. The building is imbued with ensures complete privacy. Every barrier has a lantern that powers it. At this hotel, it's installed on the roof. That's where we need the key. Interesting. The seal we're applying to you is massive. We arranged to borrow that power source to complete it. Given the unique circumstances, if it's only momentary. And then he's thinking to himself that was Sengoku. He was supposed to have the key, so he's saying basically Sengoku was supposed to have the key, and he's thinking like Shiro is heading downstairs, like basically asking if Shiro is heading downstairs, right? And then she replies, "Well, you could say that. I mean, he's heading downstairs, but in a falling elevator." We leave it to him then. Okay, so leave it to him to get the key. Oh my God, they're duking it out in the elevator. Upside down. Oh my God, this is beautiful. So nimble, bruh. The way this level of mastery, man, must have taken years. Like I kind of draw. I can kind of copy and mimic the things that I see. But to be able to draw like this, like the way they're falling and like fighting in the elevator, that's just crazy work. Crazy, absolute crazy work. Now, shout out to this mangaka still. First floor. Okay, so they've landed on the first floor. His technique is unorthodox, but each slash is loaded with powerful spirit energy. Even though he seems to have very little experience with the sword. Interesting. Okay, so Shihiro was just kind of like thinking about Hirohiko, the way Hirohiko was fighting. And I think he's asking, are you Masumi? This is from the general manager for the lantern. Oh, okay. So there's a guy that's kind of dead, and he has the key. And he says this is for the from the general manager for the lantern. So that's the key that was mentioned earlier that they need to complete what they do. That guy was clearly an amateur. Okay, just swinging blindly and following no particular form. And yet his unskilled sword severed the general manager's arm. What just happened? I thought it was pure chance. It won't happen again. Yes, not again. What sort of stance is that? A student of freedom. He's about to learn that sword plays nothing to trifle with. So this is them recalling how Hirohiko beheaded Sengoku. The guy trained under Master Sengoku daily for 7 years. In all that time, I never scored a single point against him. There are no geniuses in this world. Nothing surpasses diligent and consistent effort. Never neglect that. Well, Hirohiko said you take your 150 years and shove it. He is a genius. I was like thinking, what the hell? He's trying to think of how strong he was and how easily he overpowered Sengoku. Yeah, you damn liar, they are geniuses. He's thinking, it's like, you damn liar, they are geniuses. After all that hard work and everything, 150 years of history, all that chat, you get diced up like sliced bread. Oh man, that is brutal. This panel here is kind of very bloody. I guess my background kind of fits this panel in a way with the blood on the wall, because that's exactly, it really aligns well with what I'm seeing in this panel. So the student of Sengoku is saying, you damn lie, they're geniuses, and I agree. Hirohiko is kind of cold with it. He was unstoppable. His sword was invincible. Okay, so Hirohiko getting out of the broken elevator. He kind of looks a bit exhausted. Here he comes. Invincible sword skills. Shihiro takes note of that statement, that phrase. Through the keen vision Shihiro honed over all the deadly battles he endured, he perceived the secret to Hirohiko's technique. The ability to use both left and right hands and both overhand and underhand holds freely and in any combination along with moving instantly through his opponent's blind spot causes the opponent to completely lose sight of his blade. He's very ambidextrous. Interesting. And then it's like he was able to see that and dodge. So Hiriko is surprised that she was able to see it and dodge. So this one, a genius fights a genius, right? I love this. So he keeps flipping. Oh, damn. Okay. They both look like they're about to cut one another. Oh, no, that's not the case. So while Hirohiko's aiming for Shihiro's head, he has this sheet that's gonna block the attack, and then simultaneously Shihiro is aiming his own sword at Hiriko's head. But I don't think he's gonna get Hiriko. Hiriko is truly a genius. He's gonna find a way to evade. Okay, so the Summer Bolt came out unscathed from that clash. Looks like Shihiro's feet was cut a little bit. I might be wrong. He countered from that position and his blade was faster than mine. Truly ferocious. I like it, Hiriko says. He dodged my white period style. Needs to be faster. I need to be faster. Shihiro says, well, sure. Samurai is currently in motion to kill the contracted sword bearers faster. So he's just thinking about Samurai. He needs to be faster than the Samurai. He's just thinking about killing or fighting Samurai. Shihiro says and declares, I will kill you and get to the roof to take that key and give Yuri her life back. So you've made up your mind. You're going to return to school. The leader of the Masumi says to Yuri, I'll go back to school. I'll no longer be Seishi Samura's daughter. It's not just that I want to reject that truth. And having a flashback, he's forgotten you too. The Masumi, Sounds like my dad's attention is elsewhere. I guess he's fine with forgetting me. Okay, so she's not only wanting to forget because of the danger to her life and obviously the unfamiliarity of this new life. It's also because she feels, I guess, hurt that her dad is okay with the arrangement, and she just thinks if her dad's okay with the arrangement, then she has to forget it. I kind of understand where she's coming from. I get that. I'm the only one who was struggling with a hole in my heart. I don't think that is true. I can understand her from a perception with no context and no explanation from her dad why she might feel that she's the only one with a hole in her heart. But I don't think so. I think Samurai is deeply hurt person. Like he's going through it himself. You understand? So I don't think that's necessarily true that he doesn't have a hole inside. As a matter of fact, I would say he's acting out of that hurt. I think the reason he's doing all the things he's doing is because there is a hole in his heart. The reason why he wants to kill all the sword bearers and all the extent he's going through, I think it's because there is a hole in his heart. And anyways, she's a kid. I get where she's coming from. I understand. Anyways, guys, if you're watching from the future, thank you for watching to this point. Please hit a like, comment, subscribe. Help a small YouTuber grow. And I'll catch you guys next time. It's been Agnostic Reviews.